Hey loves, so I'm here for my 2-week pregnancy update, and so I'm here with Elle. She's awake today. Like I had said in my first week update, most likely she would be awake in the next or upcoming videos. Say hi everybody. Say hi. Say I'm so sleepy. I love you. Hey mama. Say hi everybody. Say hey loves. Hey loves. Say hey loves. Say hey loves. Hey loves. If you saw my Walmart haul video, this is one of those open bottom sleeper thingies. Oh, look at the little baby feet. Oh, so cute. Okay. So she's wearing one of those with a onesie underneath. So let's just jump right into it. Week 2, I think, was so challenging. Week 1 was not as bad because part of the week I was in the hospital and my mom had come down so she could help with JJ. But I think what made week 2 much more challenging, outside of like the fact that I wasn't at home and all those things, was that the cluster feeding took a toll on me. Like the first week after you have your baby, there's this level of euphoria. You're so excited, you're so happy, and it doesn't matter if it's child number 1 or if it's child number 5. I'm gonna assume you're just so happy. But then that happiness stays because you're still happy you have a baby, but the initial excitement of it all just kind of goes away. I guess it's similar to you know, if you bought a new car, like at first you just love the car, you want to drive it all the time, you're just so happy about it, but it's not that you're not happy you have your new car, but eventually the initial excitement just disappears, it fades. So it was kind of like, okay, now I have a baby, all right, this is getting old. And like I had mentioned, my daughter cluster feeds, and if you didn't see my first week update, you definitely want to check it out right here or check the link in the description box. Because I mentioned she cluster feeds, and cluster feeding very quickly is when your baby nurses on one breast and then they nurse on the other breast, and even though they've emptied them both, they still want to continue nursing, and they go over and over and over and over. And a typical nursing session for a baby who's not cluster feeding could be anywhere between 15 to a half an hour, but when your baby is cluster feeding, it can be hours. And for Elle, it was 3 hours and sometimes 4 hours, and that's stressful on anybody. 4 hours of your day having to sit down in one spot and nurse over and over and over, and as soon as she would be satisfied, normally she would like let go. They let go of your nipple and they tend to just kind of like go into a coma, it seems. Well, as soon as she would burp, she would be awake and immediately she starts wanting to nurse again. And for Elle, you know, like most babies, she knows where the bosom is. If she's near my chest for any reason, her head immediately turns in like this. See, she did it, and she's looking for my boob. She does it automatically. So if I keep her up here, she starts sucking all over my collarbone and sucking all over my neck. She smells my milk, so she will bob her head like that, and she will sometimes throw her body like over to get the milk. So she's acting hungry right now. I'm gonna see if I can feed her on camera but not showing off the boob. Okay, so I'm actually nursing right now, so I zoomed in because the baby's got to eat, and I want to get this video out of the way, otherwise it won't get made. So that's why week 2 was so challenging, because I was sleep deprived, and after going, I want to say 6 nights or so without sufficient sleep, 6 days without sufficient sleep, it takes a toll on your body. And I was very emotional one of the days. I actually sat on my sofa and I was nursing her, and I just started crying. And I was crying because I was just so overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. And if you're a breastfeeding mom, there's not a lot of support out there for you from people who you may be very close to, like your own parents, your own family members. A lot of people are just not as knowledgeable for breastfeeding as they should be, and that's why I'm going to be making a series of videos so that these videos can be out there in the universe for moms who really want to do it. So look out for that. But a lot of people will tell you things like, maybe you don't have enough milk and that's why she's not, you know, sleeping long, or that's why she keeps wanting to eat because she's hungry. People will tell you, you know, why don't you pump your milk and put it in a bottle so that way you can just see how much she's getting. And people will say things like that keep you second guessing yourself. You question your abilities, you question your womanhood. And if you have people around you telling you those things, it's going to be even more difficult. My mom made a comment, which I don't even know why she made the comment, but when she made the comment, it was almost as if she was thinking it and she said it out loud, and then she caught herself and she didn't say it ever again. But she made the comment, she was like, you probably don't have enough milk. And then I looked at her and I rolled my eyes so hard. And this is my mother. And I didn't say anything. And she knew that that wasn't the appropriate thing to say, because we've talked at length about different information in regards to breastfeeding, and we've talked about the benefits of it. And my mom, obviously I'm an 80s baby and my siblings are 70s babies. So my mom grew up at a time, or had babies at a time, when giving babies formula was the norm. You know, women drank and they smoked during their pregnancies, sex, drugs, rock and roll. And they were given formula. That's what you gave your baby. So the knowledge base around breastfeeding is not there. So I know I'm kind of rambling on about breastfeeding, but I just wanted to say that because that's what made week 2 challenging. If she was sleeping, you know, every couple of hours, it would make a big difference. There was one night where she slept for 6 hours straight. That day, I tried to keep her up as much as possible. If you don't have a baby, then it may seem the concept of keeping a baby up during the day is a lot easier than it really is to actually do. If you have a baby, you know what I mean. Newborns sleep, and they sleep hard. It's so difficult to wake up a newborn. You literally have to strip them down. I mean, take off their clothes, take off their diaper, and sometimes that doesn't even work, because once they're laying against your body's so warm, they can sleep. So to keep her up all day was a challenge, and it kind of meant that I really had to like focus on that and not much else. And then most nursing babies will eat every 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 1 to 2 hours. So I had to wake her up every 2 hours to eat, and then if she's sleepy, she, you know, just fall asleep on my breast. So anyway, it took a lot of energy to do that, but I got 6 hours of sleep out of it. So that was short-lived. That never happened again. The cluster feeding continued, and I was just emotional. And like I said, I broke down and I cried, and I was like calling the lactation consultant, talking to my husband as well, getting some ideas and information about what to do. So as I'm filming this video, I'm into like the 2.5 week point. So there have been changes. Thank God she's not cluster feeding anymore. The nights have been really good. I'm starting her on a routine. I know it's kind of crazy because she's only almost 3 weeks, but at night I give her a nice bath, and she loves water. No crying. She just lays back. She relaxes her body. She seems so content. And then I do this after after my son puts I do this after my husband puts our son to sleep. So we all go say goodnight with him, and then I give her bath, and then she will nurse for however long she wants, which is usually about a half an hour to an hour at that point of the night, because your milk supply is lower in the evening as well. So she'll nurse. I'll put her down for bed, which will probably be at that point 9 o'clock-ish, and then she'll wake up again around 11 or 12. Although last night she woke up at 1, which was great. And then every 2 hours after that, she'll wake up again. So obviously if you woke up every 2 hours in your sleep, you would be probably really cranky, but when you have a newborn, you're happy for those little stretches, especially in the nighttime. For them to just go back to sleep is amazing. It's like heaven sent. And for not having that at all, like, it's amazing for me because I can actually sleep for those 2 hours and not have to be nursing over and over and over for 4 hours straight. And it's also challenging for me to sleep during the day because my body just biologically is not wired for that. Obviously, I'm 28 years old and I don't sleep during the day. I don't even really nap during the day. So it's not like just because now I have a baby that all of a sudden it comes naturally. It doesn't. So it's challenging for me. In terms of my relationship with my husband, this week was, well, the second week was actually kind of I was annoyed at several times, partly because when you're sleep deprived and you've been nursing a new baby and you've been doing things around the house from cleaning and straightening and whatever, you don't want to hear anybody else tell you how tired they are, and you don't want anybody else to be taking naps around you. And my husband, he took several naps and he complained about how tired he was several times, and it got on my nerves. And like, I wouldn't say anything. I would just like to take away from his feeling because I know that she keeps shaking her foot. I'm like, what's going on? I know that he's sleep deprived because although he's not exactly up with me at night, he is up late. But him being up late is a personal preference or a personal choice, not a necessity. Like, I'm trying to go to bed every night at 10 and he's coming to bed after 1, 2 o'clock because he's watching TV or he's editing his photography. And those are personal choices to be up. So you're not tired because you're up late with a baby. You have to be up with the baby. You're tired because you choose to be up late. So, you know, I was just a little annoyed with that. And he was doing a 10-day juice fast, and I was preparing all of his juices for him and making sure that he was successful in this juice fast. And he was cranky because he wasn't eating food. So that was that. But he still continued to be stepping up with our son and taking care of things. What else? I went to the gym one day. I wanted to go yesterday, which was Friday, but I'm a morning gym person, and Elle was nursing throughout the afternoon and also being very fussy. She wanted to be held a lot, and she wanted to be held by me, and she's my baby, so I spoil her a little bit more than I should. I didn't spoil JJ that much, but I knew I was going to be having more babies, and I wanted him to be a strong young man. And with Elle, it's just not happening as easy as it did with JJ to not spoil her. It's harder because I know she's like my last baby. But I did go to the gym, and I have lost more weight. Let me show you. She's serious about her food. Let me show you. Okay, so here you see my total loss. On this side, you see my current weight. And then in the middle, it shows you my days to my goal. So I started off at 270 at the very end of my pregnancy, and I've lost 25.8 pounds. So, you know, my goal is to get down to my pre-pregnancy weight as soon as possible, which was 190. But there is a little bit of challenge because I'm obviously nursing, so I can't like not eat. I can't diet too much because I have to make enough. I have to give my body enough nourishment to sustain its own self, and then also to sustain a milk supply for the baby. So considering that, I'm doing very well, and nursing does remove a lot of calories, so that's good for me as well. And I'm starting to feel like I look thinner. You might see it in my face. My mask of pregnancy is kind of gone. I still have some dark areas, not that much. I have on no makeup right now. I just washed my hair. And yeah, so this video has been like almost 17 minutes and she's still nursing. So this is just an idea of how long it takes to nurse. She's still nursing on my left breast, so she hasn't even gone to the right one yet. So she probably will need just as much time on this one. So definitely let me know if you have any questions about anything, and also any video requests. Make them very specific. I do write down your requests that you guys have been asking. I have a long list, so I'm gonna get them out. So don't worry, I'm gonna get to them all. And of course, definitely keep in touch with me on a daily basis by checking out my Facebook fan page and my Instagram, where I share pictures of my family and talk about my diet and what I'm eating. And I've been sharing my meal plan and things like that on my website, Jenell B Stewart. So check out JenellBStewart.com. And as always, I love you for watching. Bye. After you have a baby, you do have a lot of bleeding for probably a week or two, depending on, you know, the person. And obviously you just push out a baby, so there is lots of loss of blood.